Oh, just say scrap.
Oh, just say scrap.
As something new.
As something new.
It's Make It Mondays just for you. So come and see what we are creating. Make It Mondays just for you.
Hello everybody, so today we are doing the Evergreen Scrapbooking Kit. This kit, I loved this paper before we did this kit, but oh my goodness, doing this kit just made me love this paper even more. So what Close to My Heart did with this one was some of the special added items were the white gloss spray and also the speckled egg and the rustic wilderness. So as you see there, I actually put it on both of the base pages. We used our blending brushes and blended those spots together. And then we took that white spray and just sprayed it right on top to make a beautiful base. Yes, it seems a little bit intense right now, but trust me, when you see the finished product with everything layered together, it looks absolutely gorgeous where it is. So I have not ever been a really big T-ruler person, but I can tell you right now that I absolutely love it with the VersaMat and being able to use it for these kind of layouts. It just makes everything so much easier to use. So I highly recommend it if you don't use it already. It just made my life so much easier while doing all of these layouts with all of the different measurements. So as you see there too, I am taking my scissor and I am trimming off a little bit of some of the cutouts. That's just because there's a little bit of a paper that was left from when I punched it out. So I just wanted to make sure that I clean those up before I put them onto my pages. The other thing about this is you get those die cuts, the evergreen die cuts. Oh my goodness, they are so pretty. I can't even describe them. They are thick, so which is really, really nice. So even though it is a leaf, it is very, very sturdy and everything like that. So I was just taking our liquid glue and just putting a little bit of that down first and then putting the die cut into it and then layering on top of it. So the top of my leaves are still freestanding. The other thing I really like about these kits is there is so many things that you can change with them if you like. And they also give you all of these exclusive die cuts as well. So if you don't want to do what I'm doing and, gluing the center of the circles, you can always use one of those as a journaling spot or something like that. Or if you don't have the rustic wilderness or the speckled egg or anything like that, you can just use one, the other, just the white gloss spray, not the white gloss spray and the other stuff. There's just so many possibilities with these kind of kits for you to customize them to the things that you have in your craft room. So as you see here, we have almost completed our first page and it is absolutely stunning. I just love how Close to My Heart's kits layer and just use the stickers and the embellishments and everything like that. And it kind of teaches you how to also make your own embellishment clusters and all of that jazz. I always kind of take from prior kits to kind of see how they layer things on top, what they use, and that helps me in my own scrapbooking to kind of figure out what I want to do with my own embellishments. So as you saw there, I did have an anti-static pouch and a VersaMat to just make sure that I am popping up some of these stickers and making them non-sticky into pop-ups. I guess that made sense. And so then I am just using my foam tape to give them all different kinds of dimensions. I do like using thin and thick tape. As you see there on that one little snowflake, I did have a small piece of thin tape, and then the bigger one I did use thick tape, so it kind of double popped it. If you are curious on how to do that, you can always check out one of our older YouTube videos to see how we can make them all different kind of sizes. But I really like to completely cover the stickers and the embellishments with foam tape. I just find that it doesn't kind of warp down in my pages. Like when you look back at some of the old scrapbooks that we had that we kind of tried to conserve a little bit more with the foam tape, I feel like those pages have kind of sunk in. So if you really make sure that you fill in all those spaces, you won't get that kind of a warped look at the end. And as you saw there with that snowflake, I kind of corrected my mistake, but I accidentally took the backing off of it. So then I just used an extra piece and I made my own backing so I could stick my photo mat under that snowflake. If you need to reverse the video to see what I was doing, you can totally do that. But that was page 1, and now here is page 2. So we've got those beautiful zip strips, which I absolutely love using. I've actually found that if you are going to put something over a zip strip, like we did put that other strip of paper, you don't have to trim down the zip strip. And what I mean by that is sometimes when you cut it on your cutter, you do get some excess paper from the actual design or the B&T paper. And so what I did there is I put my zip strip down first, and then with that other cardstock or B&T paper that I put over it, I actually cover that little excess that is stuck there. So you don't have to take a scissor and try and make it completely even. You can kind of just correct it with the cardstock itself. So here we are, just embellishing a little bit more on this page. I really liked that idea with the heart inside of the other heart. I just thought that was brilliant on Close to My Heart's part with those different stickers, because you could kind of make different looks with the different hearts. And then here we are, just gluing down some more of these embellishments from the Evergreen. So I had accidentally had one that was a little bit too big. We actually cut it at a 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 instead of the 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I cut that down a little. And sometimes when you're putting these pages together, it doesn't work perfectly like the picture does. So as you saw there with the dovetails, I kind of moved them in a little bit further than they are in the picture to make it work for how I was doing my page. And then here we are on to page 2. So I forgot to do a little bit of the gloss spraying because I didn't read. So you'll see here that I kind of went back and forth in between the directions, but I decided to put the page together, and then before I do all of my embellishing, I'm actually going to gloss spray both pages together. So in case I got it onto any of those background B&Ts, I kind of had that fancy look. So I know I embellished this page, but I kind of just tried to do it off to the side, and so that way it is a little bit more uniform throughout the 2 pages. But I really liked how it looked in the end anyway, so that worked out well. And with those 3x3 photos that I just put on, we accidentally cut that a little bit too short, so I just kind of made it work. Normally in the guide there is a space in between those photos, but hey, if you make a mistake, don't cut extra paper, just make it work for what you have. So we did that. And then as you see here, I am actually taking one of our embellishments and I'm cutting it with the cutter. That's because when I was looking through those craft embellishments, I realized it only used half of it and I didn't want to cover the entire thing. Same with that sticker that I just cut too. So I wanted to kind of go back and make sure that I was only using the part that I wanted. And then as you saw there, I did take a little bit of the glue and I put it up on the top, but I didn't like how that looked, so I adjusted it to how I wanted my page to look. Same thing with cutting this circle in half. That way I kind of saved half of it, and then I had the other half from the other page that I also cut in half. So I can use these then with the extras that I have from this kit to even make another page, maybe some cards, anything like that. So I really like to save my extras. So in case I want to make this kit even bigger than it is, I can do that. So for this one, I realized that there are some stickers on top of the stickers. So I made sure that the stickers were all together first, and then I made it unsticky. So when I am popping it up, I can pop up everything at one time. So I really love that we can do this with stickers. I love our anti-static pouch. I will say I'm not the biggest fan of the feeling of it, but I love what it does. So using it and having it in my crafting space is just a big win for me. And as you saw there too, we used that speckled egg to kind of give some color to those hearts, to give some color to that sticker, and just spruce it up. So that's the really nice thing about Distress Oxides or just ink in general, is that you can put it onto other things as well to spruce up a few of your designs. I actually did that with our Christmas countdown that we also had a special for this past week. And I used some ink to kind of just spruce up some of the French vanilla, and it just makes a complete difference when you're doing your projects. So I put one of those stickers on wrong. I did it before. I should have popped everything up, so I was able to just kind of pull that up. I don't actually push my stickers down all the way until I am final with the page, so that is just another tip that if you're trying to get ahead of the game and save all of your pop-ups for last, make sure that you can move your stickers around in case they don't fit right. So here we are on page or layout 3. So I am once again using those Distress Oxides, putting a little bit of color on this French vanilla page, and then we are going to build on top of it. So this zip strip, as you see here, I am cutting. It's because I'm building towards the zip strip, so that is why I did actually trim this one. There is nothing that goes onto the right-hand side of it, so that is why I just was like, you know what, we're going to trim it. Instead of me trying to force it underneath the other cardstock, I will just trim this one, and it's a little bit less noticeable because nothing is going to be flush against it. So I thought this was really cool how they actually gave you a cutout of something that you can put either a photo in or you can do your journaling in. I thought that was a really cool thing that Close to My Heart gave that frame. And then all of these tiny little cutouts, I just made sure that all of them were clean edged before I started putting them down, because that would really annoy me if they weren't. So I just went through the entire thing and just made sure that all of those were clean. I did start putting these down without kind of looking at the page and realized that I wasn't putting them down how I liked or how they were going to fit nicely, so I did pull them up a little. I will say I didn't let the ink dry enough, so my dot of the glue that I am using, it did kind of leave a little bit on, or a little residue on the ink, so I made sure that I covered those and then I continued from there. So my pattern is slightly off from Close to My Heart's, but you will see in the end that it still looks just as amazing. So as you see with those few pieces, I did glue them on both sides and then cut them. The shortbread one didn't like to stay, so I just re-glued it. But I do that because I really like measuring, or at least lining up the papers from the top to the bottom and then gluing it on and then cutting it, because I feel like the pieces line up a lot better. So that's just something that I do. If you want, you could also just glue it on one side, cut it, line them up, and then glue it onto the other side that way. But I just find that it's easy for me to do it the other way, so that's why I do it that way. And as you see there, I actually had to take up a few of them because my photo mat was going to end up covering it. So I just moved those around to fit my page like we've been saying this whole time. And here we are with some more of these embellishments. They are absolutely beautiful. I will say that the pine cones are a little bit harder to glue, so just make sure that when you are gluing them that you have a sticker or something over it. Just put a little bit of glue on the one end because it is a lot thinner. Our dual tip glue pen definitely does help with that, so if you need something small to glue, you can always get that glue pen because it does help. And as you see here too with these little snowflakes, I'm doing the same thing using that glue pen. So we have one more thing to use the speckled egg on, so we did that last heart, and then we are just finishing up our embellishing. So as you see in all these layouts, I am leaving my pop-ups for the last thing. I find that it's easier to do all of the pop-ups on the pages kind of together for the layouts. So I put the rest of it together and then I do all the pop-ups at the end, so that way I don't have to keep pulling in either my all-purpose mat that I have my little anti-static pouch on here, or that VersaMat that I had at Mom's. So I just find that it's easier to do everything together, so that way you're kind of are just dealing with the powder all at once, and that way you kind of add the dimension to your pages all at the same time too, and you get to see how awesome the page looks at the end. So with these little flowers here, I'm actually putting the craft leaves on the back of them. So I'm actually popping it, taking the little pop pieces off so it is sticky, and then putting those flower pieces on. I just find that that kind of gives it a little bit more dimension, but also then you can place the leaves exactly where you want them to go, and it just makes that page just so much more prettier. So those are our 3 layouts in this kit. Like I said, Evergreen is absolutely gorgeous. I just love that this can be used as a Christmas layout. It can be used as just a holiday winter layout, anything like that. There's just so much to do with this kit. So, you know, it doesn't really say anything about Christmas either, which is really cool because you can use it for snowflakes. You can use it for the outside. You can probably honestly switch it up and use it for the middle of summer if you go hiking or anything like that. Just take out some of those snowflakes and change up a few things. But it's an absolutely gorgeous kit. I hope you enjoyed this Make It Monday, and we will see you for our next project.